This week we are reading two parashiot, Acharei Mot and Kedoshim. The main theme will be around sanctity and holiness. Now, we normally interpret holiness and sanctity as something sacred, and sacred is associated with something threatening and scary. We are scared of desecrating the sacred, and so we are very careful of it. We are very distant and separated and removed. Holiness, however, it's something very different. Because holiness, it's not only being separated from something, but it's engaging into something. And so, what it exactly means for the Jewish people to be holy? We could think, perhaps, that from then on, the Jews will have to be removed from society and removed from the world. However, God don't only say holy and that's it. He explains why he wants us to be holy. And the reason for our holiness is because he is holy. God says, be holy because I am holy. Now, what would he have to explain himself and what the godly holiness has to do with ours? And perhaps the reason is very important because it seems that God is holy and he wants to engage with us. And so he's telling us, please sanctify yourself, be holy, so we could meet and interact together. It's a bit like a marriage between a man and a wife and a husband. In Hebrew, we call this creation of holy relationship kiddushin, a sanctification. When a woman enters the chuppah, she receives the ring and the husband says, you are mekudeshet, you are holy. What is that holiness? It means that she is separating herself from all the men of the world to be in an exclusive relationship with her husband. The same thing is true with God. He's not asking us to separate ourselves from things for the purpose of it, just to be holy with ourselves. In turn, he wants us to focus our mind and our emotions and our devotion to the relationship with him. And so I would say perhaps commandment of our parasha that seems to be very esoteric. Be holy, it's much less practical than putting tefillin or keep Shabbat or learning Torah or helping the poor. It's very spiritual, it's difficult to grasp. But in fact, it turns out it's the soul and the purpose of all other mitzvot. Because in all the behavior that we have to abstain ourselves from, in all the food that we have to abstain ourselves from, in all the relationships that are prohibited that we have to abstain ourselves from, all of these are separations in order to sanctify us from them. But they have a purpose. We're not doing them just to separate ourselves from this food or these relationships or this behavior. We are doing them in order to engage in a relationship with God. And so when we think of holiness, the primary thing to think about as a Jewish holiness is not to be removed from others, but on the contrary, to engage with others. In order to engage properly, we need to create a certain holiness. So the relationship becomes holy. But holiness cannot be associated only with a separation for the sake of separation. Shabbat Shalom.